Alice, I'm excited about the new brand. Tell me, why are you rebranding?
That's a very good question. But after 12 years of operating, I felt it was the time for CTG to rebrand. We have come so far since our early days. I can remember when we were in Kabul in a house. We weren't in the glamorous area of Wazir Akbar Khan like everyone else. We were on the outskirts. It was freezing. I had a little heater and gloves to work at my computer. And we now have operations spanning over 25 countries in Africa and the Middle East and Asia. And so I felt like it was the time. I'm so proud of our achievements and everyone who has been a huge part of that. And so I felt it was time that CTG had a new look and feel.
So, what's your favorite part of the new branding?
My favorite part? Well, it has to be that we've now defined what CTG stands for. So the original name for CTG just didn't work in the countries that we operate in. But I'm really pleased to reveal that the new name it resonates so well with me, and I believe it will really resonate with our staff in the field. But it stands for Committed to Good. So committed, well, I mean, that is really what we are to both our clients and to our staff in the field. Everything we do, we're responsive, we're reliable, we're transparent, we're always striving to do better. We've just built this amazing cloud-based platform which is going to transform our operational support and how we support our staff in the field. You know, our quality management systems meant that we managed to achieve our ISO 9001 accreditation today, and these are just some of the ways that we are committed to what we do, and it's really in our DNA.
Yeah, certainly.
So that brings me on to the good bit. Now, our social good and being part of the force for good is so important to me, and so important to so many of the team, like yourself, who do a lot for our social impact side of things. And, you know, ensuring that our ethics and integrity run through the whole company, through into our field offices, and everything that we do is really about giving back, and that is the good element of the new name. So there we have it, Committed to Good.
I see the colours changed as well. Do they have any significance?
They definitely do. And it took us a long time to work out which colours we were going to have and why we chose the colours, because it was really important for us they had a meaning. So white represents peace, gold represents prosperity, and red represents people. We basically went along the lines of there are 5 Ps in the UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And we've chosen 3 of them where I think that CTG has the biggest impact. Now, white for peace and gold for prosperity is pretty obvious, but you might think, why red for people? Well, we were thinking about where our operations are, and they are normally in a humanitarian situation or an emergency response requirement. Now you think of the agencies that are always there. It's the International Red Cross or the UAE Red Crescent, and they're red. So really for us, we share their values and we share what they're trying to do for the agenda for humanity. So for us, that really portrayed our commitment to the people who work for us and the people that we have an impact on. And then black. So black is really the 4th colour. So that for us represents partnership and partnership of the goals. And you often see it on the website where it'll be sort of as a screen over the person that it's covering, and you click on it and that person comes to life. And that's what we're really trying to show with the partnership, is that by us coming together, we are a force for good.
Alice, I noticed the logo changed as well. Does this have any meaning, or is just changing the look and the feel of it?
If you look at the new logo, you can kind of make out the C, the T, and the G. Well, I can, but I don't think everyone can.
Okay.
But it's not really about that.
Yeah.
It symbolises the ripple effect, and the ripple effect that all of our operations globally have on the local communities that we work within. So, for example, in Sierra Leone, where we hire drivers who, during the Ebola crisis, had to go into the quarantined areas to distribute the food, and that in turn means that children can be educated and the health and well-being for the families.
The branding has changed. It feels like everything has changed. What does this mean for the business?
Do you know, Spitzai, nothing has changed.
Oh, thank God.
We're still the same CTG. We just have, I think, a stronger message about what we do and where we do it and how we do it.
But what's the significance to us, the employees?
Do you know, we have such a young but very, very capable culture in the organisation. And I think that everyone now really understands our capability, and that actually the experience amongst us, even though we're quite a young team, is quite significant. And we really do have a major impact on the humanitarian community that we work within and on the development projects that we're involved in. And for me, I think this is really significantly played out and evidenced in our new website, in the Days of the Life Stories, where we really get into the projects itself, and it really describes some of the quite challenging environments that we're working in, but also really puts across that huge difference that we actually make to the local communities that we work within.
And Alice, what's the new direction for CTG?
So the new direction for CTG is really aligned with the humanitarian sector that we support and looking at what we achieve in the local communities that we work. So since 2015, when the UN launched the Sustainable Development Goals and we attended the World Humanitarian Summit, we've decided to align our business strategies with the 17 SDGs. But in fact, we're choosing 3 where we think that we can have the most impact. So there's SDG 8, which is for good work and economic growth. And given the countries we operate in, SDG 16, which is for peace, security and justice. And as our gender specialist, you know that goal number 5 is of such importance to us for gender equality.
Certainly.
And we've spent many hours and many days working on our diversity and inclusion policies. Signing the UN Women's Empowerment Principles was so important to us, but also the opportunity I have as co-chair of the UN Women's Empowerment Principles in the UAE to communicate that and advance that work locally. And also the biggest thing for me is really our launch of our Female First platform, which declares that by 2030 we will have 30% of all project-related roles represented by women. And I think this is something that we can really achieve. And working with our clients to try and do that, and the outreach that you guys are already doing in our recruitment team is really going to achieve that. In fact, I think we'll more than achieve it. So for me, this has been the most important thing, and CTG playing a huge part in its social good strategies that align our business strategies with the overall agenda for humanity.
Oh, certainly. Thank you for the clarity. I now understand what the new brand is about, and I know exactly where I fit in. Thank you, Alice.